because her answers aren't very good. We will get some insight today into the solutions, supposedly, that Kamala Harris has for America. And they're not original. I mean, her policy, no tax on tips, was stolen from Donald Trump. Even the little Valley Girl chat she had yesterday with her vice president, Tim Walz, was stolen. Remember when J.D. Vance said he missed the call from Donald Trump when Trump called him to be his VP? Kamala and Tim Walz stole that too. Oh, yeah, I went to voicemail because I don't answer numbers that I don't recognize. But today, Kamala Harris will unveil the details on two policies that apparently are geared to help her gain the Cuban and Venezuelan dictator vote. Price controls and a $25,000 check to help illegal immigrants buy houses. Can't wait for that. But we start a Friday edition of the Bruce Hooley Show with the fact that the circus is back in town. No, not Ringling Brothers, Barnum and Bailey. The Andrew Ginthers three-ring circus is in full something mode as we are getting more and more details, not from Andrew Ginthers, but from our city's three television stations, all of which today I have to give it up to Channel 4, Channel 6, Channel 10. All on their websites are doing a great job giving you information that the mayor's office won't give you about your data being stolen. If you've ever been a crime victim, been to municipal court, paid your water bill online, maybe paid your electric bill online. We're not sure that all of those things would qualify you to have your identity stolen by the people who hacked into the city's computers. But the mayor told you Tuesday that all that data was encrypted and all of it was unusable. And that is not the case. And it is very troubling, of course, but also somewhat hilarious to me that the city started learning about this in mid-July, okay? They knew they had a problem. Oops, we got a problem. Looks like our computer system at mid-July. And so they put their best people on it. Their very best people. And I said yesterday, Beavis and Butthead security did not do a very good job. It now looks like maybe they also had Bernard P. Fife and Associates cybersecurity on the case, because what they could not find, what the hired guns of Andrew Ginthers could not find July 18th going forward until Tuesday, took like a couple random, just savvy computer dudes to find. And I bet, I'm thinking now, like my buddy Dwayne out in Blacklick, I bet he could have done this. I bet he could have come up with the problem. We got a lot of smart people on computers. I'm not one of them. But local television stations have been talking to several of them, and the FBI has been called in. And so I had the chance last night to interact with a member of the Columbus Division of Fire. Now, look, this doesn't prove anything, okay? This is second, third-hand information. I'm just repeating what this gentleman told me, because when I heard he was a Columbus firefighter, I said, "Are you affected by the data breach?" And he's like, "Yeah." And I said, "To what extent have they shared information with you?" And he said, "Well, we've been told that the FBI went in and looked at the situation." And this is what this proves nothing. I'm not saying I'm just repeating a conversation I had with a member of the Columbus Division of Fire. And what he said he was told probably by people in the upper echelons of the Division of Fire, not directly from the FBI expert, is that the FBI experts who went in and looked at the city's computer system after the hacking said that a fourth grader could have gotten in there, and that once in there were no firewalls to stop them, and that they were able to run free and get whatever they wanted. Now, is that true? Reading the coverage that the three television stations in town have done, it certainly appears to me to be more likely than not that it is absolutely true. And I just wonder what this is going to shake out in for Andrew Ginthers, the mayor, for Zach Klein, the city law director, and for the city itself. Because if you really think about it, this city does not hesitate to pay out of its coffers victims who it perceives to be aggrieved, right? covered earlier in the week. They paid $10 million to the family of Andre Hill, who was shot by a Columbus police officer. The case has not gone to trial yet. In advance of being found guilty of anything, that the shooting was in any way unjustified, the city ponied up $10 million. They did the same thing for Casey Goodson's family, $7 million. They did the same thing to victims, even though they weren't victims because there were never any charges filed against Columbus police officers who were involved in the riots of 2020 downtown. They paid them like another $5 or $6 million. So they love paying victims. What do you pay when you have 500,000 victims? What do you pay? Here's a story on the Channel 6 website. A crime victim is demanding answers after learning her personal data is believed to be included in a massive ransomware attack that targeted the city of Columbus. She's a domestic violence victim. She's got 3 kids. She was victimized once. She was assaulted, beaten. She goes into the system to seek justice. And I don't know what kind of justice she got, but she finds that her data is now out there and that her identity could be stolen. And think of this. You say, well, okay, what's the worst thing that can happen if your identity's been stolen? All right, let's say you own your house, all right? Somebody could take your identity, steal it off the web, open a line of credit in your name, and conceivably run up, thousands, tens of thousands of dollars, depending on how much equity you have. Now, you might get a notification. Hey, did you do this? But the people who are engaged in this kind of criminality, they're not doing it because every case ends up with them pocketing $1,000, $10,000, $100,000. They're doing it for the few. Maybe you're away on vacation. Maybe you just happen to have lost your cell phone. Maybe the alert goes to spam. Maybe you don't check your email. Maybe your call goes to voicemail. You forget to check it. I mean, that's happened to me before. I've had identity theft protection for a long, long time. My phone's off at certain times. Call goes to voicemail. I don't check the call record. What's this strange number? Or if I look at a strange number and say, oh, it's from a 919 area code. Okay, I don't know who that is, so I'm not going to answer it. Oh, it turns out it's your identity theft protection calling. You have an alert on your phone. You find out 2 weeks later. Yikes, what happened in 2 weeks? That's all conceivable that this could happen to thousands of people throughout the city of Columbus. So yesterday, with reporters in town seeking to get to Mayor Andrew Ginthers and have him answer questions about this because he's accountable for this. He's the boss, right? 3rd term mayor. Who else's office door does this fall at other than Andrew Ginthers? I'm sure there are others, but he's the guy, right? So he's nowhere to be found yesterday within the city limits of the city that he leads. He's in Findlay, Ohio. Now, I don't know what he's doing up there. Some nice golf courses in Findlay. Maybe he had a tea time. I don't know. But kudos to Channel 10 and kudos to Lacey Crisp of Channel 10, who ran Andrew Ginthers down in Findlay yesterday. And I'm just going to play the beginning of her report, probably stop it in the middle of it, because she does a really good job here answering the questions that I would ask if I had access to Andrew Ginthers, which I've tweeted way too many things about his incompetence over the years to ever have access to Andrew Ginthers. But here is the report from Lacey Crisp last night on Channel 10.
We tracked him down to Findlay to ask him if he's being honest about the extent of the data breach. Did you lie about the extent of knowledge you had about the information that had been leaked?
No, I shared the best information that I had at the time based on reports and confirmation from cybersecurity experts. Obviously, what we have learned since then is continuing on our investigation and looking at what's possibly out there, who has access to it.
On Tuesday.
Boom! Right off the top, she hit him. Were you lying? Great job, Lacey Crisp. The report continues.
On Tuesday, Columbus Mayor Andrew Ginthers said the information taken during the ransomware attack was encrypted. After this cybersecurity expert came to 10 TV showing hundreds of thousands of files of personal private data, Mayor Ginthers had to backtrack. Should you have shared more so employees and citizens could take the steps to protect themselves?
I think we have shared. I've talked to you several times about this. We sent out a letter from me and the technology director encouraging employees to take action.
Anyway.
Yeah, well, so far though, no real answers. And the city says they've offered identity theft protection. In later on in Lacey Chris' report, which we'll play for you in the next segment, he's asked about how widespread the offer of identity theft protection will be. It's not nearly as widespread as it needs to be, because if anybody in the city has been compromised because of the city's incompetence, then they should get the data theft protection, and any damages that they incur because of the city's incompetence, the city should be on the hook for. As I say before, they never seem to have a problem paying off victims, I would add prematurely, when it's a police officer who they presume to be at fault. But when it's them, not so much accountability.
We're continuing this afternoon with a couple of showers and thunderstorms, which can bring downpours localized.
Anyone who's been to City Hall or the city attorney.
In the afternoon, 187, thunder showers Sunday. I'm Hooley Holder on 98.9 FM, The Answer.
Our government has engorged itself on borrowed money. Now we are over $30 trillion in debt. If this bubble finally implodes, many Americans would be left clueless and heartbroken.
Do you have a number for that guest?
Oh, yeah. Sorry about that. All right, it's Mehek Cook, Mehek Cook, Cook, 614.
Okay, I'll call him at like 11:30. Thank you.
You bet.
To the number 989898 now, and you are blessed with continued prosperity. Her name is Jenny, and maybe like you've seen her.
Did I not have the live stream on when I started this? Sorry. That's goofy. That's really stupid. I pressed the envelope today on prep, and I didn't hit every button I needed to hit, so my bad. Really apologize.
Same year, we found out that I had stage 3 breast cancer.
You were put at ease with Medishare, guiding us and walking with us and saying that they're on brand groups.
It's very intentional how they try to bless people when they know this is one of the hardest things that they're going through.
They and their 4 kids thank the Lord, not only for her healing and how he provided for them, but she says it makes her emotional just realizing she gets to pay it forward.
What we put towards Medishare is going to be blessing another mom, and they're going to show up for her the way that they showed up for me.
You save a lot, and you're part of something really, really good. Call now. It's 844-47-BIBLE. That's 844-47-BIBLE. 844-47-BIBLE.
Caribbean is calling. Dennis Prager here. Join me on an unforgettable cruise to the Caribbean this November. Imagine 9 days of basking in the sun surrounded by the stunning beauty of a tropical paradise. We'll cruise to the vibrant islands of Half Moon Cay, Curacao, Bonaire, Turks and Caicos, and much more. Stroll through Curaçao's iconic pastel-colored shops and snorkel in Bonaire's world-class coral reefs. You'll enjoy some of the most delicious cuisine aboard Holland America's Rotterdam, a fantastic destination itself with riveting shows and breathtaking views. We'll be joined by special guest Sean McDowell, and we'll both share fresh highlights, current events, discuss happiness and our future in America in light of the election. November 29th to December 8th of this year. Secure your spot today by calling 855-565-5519 or online at PragerCruise.com.
Hi, I'm Paul George with Keller Williams Greater Columbus Realty, host of the Paul George Real Estate Show, broadcasting every Saturday morning at 8 a.m. on 98.9 The Answer. Using over 30 years of trusted real estate agent experience in Central Ohio, I'll share invaluable insights into the ever-evolving local real estate market, provide you with current trends, and bring industry experts who will share their wisdom on the art of buying and selling homes. Join me every Saturday morning at 8 a.m. right here on 98.9 FM, The Answer.
As I said, I had the opportunity last night to interact with a Columbus firefighter. Well, I said, did I have a fire? No, I did not have a fire. I was at his home to measure it for new flooring, and I met another delightful couple. One of them works in the Dublin School District, and one of them is retired. And I love interacting with my listeners who hear about Bruce Hooley and the flooring options that I offer you at brucehooley.com, and listeners to the show. So if you are looking for new carpet, or you're looking for luxury vinyl plank, that revolutionary new product that looks like wood or looks like tile, great for bathrooms, mudrooms, great for the whole entire house, durable, won't scratch, totally waterproof, then go to brucehooley.com and click the flooring tab in the upper right-hand corner of the page. We will get your product installed on a much more expedient time schedule, and most importantly, we will save you money. And I can explain how we can do that with the same exact name brands as the big box stores when you and I get together after you go and leave your information at brucehooley.com, flooring, upper right-hand corner, brucehooley.com, flooring in the upper right-hand corner of the website. So Mayor Andrew Ginther of the city of Columbus was out of town yesterday in Findlay, Ohio, and he thought it would probably offer him a respite from the television cameras that have been chasing him around since the city of Columbus had its computer systems hacked by a ransomware outfit that put the items up for sale on the dark web, where people go and buy information and engage in identity theft and ruin lives. Mayor Ginther, again, I say, I don't know if he had a tea time. I don't know if he's up there for some, preparing for the Democratic National Committee duties that he will perform next week. By the way, how much of a breach of his duties is it while the city is in the midst of a data breach that seems to grow wider every day and imperil the safety and security of a big part of the citizenry? And like, if you swiped your driver's license to attend a city council meeting, if you've been through municipal court, if you're a witness in a case, if you paid your water bill, like, that's a big umbrella of people. Andy's in Findlay yesterday. Don't know where he is today. Probably, hitting balls on the range at Scarlet. And then he's going to Chicago next week for the Democratic National Committee convention. And so is Shannon Hardin, the city council president, and as I said, the presidents of the Ohio branches of both the American Federation of Teachers and the Ohio Education Association. So Andrew Ginther, he didn't want to answer questions about this, but kudos to Channel 10's Lacey Crisp. He chased him down in Findlay, Ohio. I played a portion of her interview with him where she just started with the obvious question. He said Tuesday, the data is encrypted, it's unusable, nothing to see here. And we now know that's not true, because your average, ordinary, run-of-the-mill cybersecurity guys who are really good on computers have gone to the television stations and said, well, this is what I found, this is what I found, this is what I found, names, addresses, social security's number, driver's license numbers, juvenile records unsealed, right? I mean, they seal the juvenile records so you can't possibly find out about this. There are juvenile criminal cases out there, which I know you're like I am. You're surprised that there actually are case files on juvenile crimes in the city of Columbus. You thought we stopped prosecuting juveniles. I did too. But there are a few out there, and those have been hacked as well. So Lacey Crisp confronts Andrew Ginther on the streets of Findlay yesterday and proceeds to put it to the mayor on how consequential this whole entire situation is.
Anyone who's been to City Hall or the city attorney's office and has had their driver's license swiped as a part of the city's safety protocol could have that driver's license information on the dark web.
It took one cybersecurity analyst a couple of days to download stuff on the dark web. You've had a teams working on this since July 18th. Why weren't those teams able to find these data breaches?
Those are some of the things that we're talking about and trying to figure out if there are additional resources that we need to bring to bear.
So he's going to get someone other than Bernard P. Fife and Associates on the case? It appears so.
Experts have found crime victims, including rape victims' information, has also been leaked to the dark web from the city attorney's office.
Are you going to offer that credit monitoring to the citizens, to the crime victims whose information has also been released?
I don't think we're prepared to do that at this point.
Could all of this have been prevented? Ginther asked the Department of Justice to review the Columbus Division of Police. In February of 2023, the DOJ released a report saying the police departments and the city's IT infrastructure needed to be updated. In the report, the DOJ stated, team agrees there needs to be a mechanism for the full citywide IT system, needs priority integration, coordination across city bureaus.
I remember I told you that my friend, the fireman who I met last night, said the FBI expert went over there and he said, wow, it's so elementary to hack into this system. And there were no firewalls once the hackers were inside the system. Mayor, care to respond?
Should the city's IT infrastructure had been updated to prevent an issue like this?
Well, as you know, and I've shared this with you and your colleagues before, we've invested over $12 million in the last 5 years, upgrading our systems, increasing cybersecurity, and doing everything we can.
He is a Democrat, so of course they're doing everything we can. How much did he say they invested? Oh, that's right, $12 million. That sounds like a lot of money, doesn't it? That's $12 million sounds like a lot of money. Does anybody remember how much money they set aside for the Scioto Mile bike path? Anybody? Anybody remember that? Oh, that's right. $100 million. They set aside $100 million for a bike path so it can look really pretty when you're walking along the river downtown. But the cybersecurity, $12 million. Would I be wrong? Is that like less than 1/8 as much as they're going to spend on the bike path?
City employees are now reporting their health care provided by the city from United Healthcare has now been breached. I asked Mayor Ginther about it, and he said that is something the city is looking into.
Well, thank goodness for that. Thank heavens for that. They're looking into it. Your health information has been compromised. And Andrew Ginthers says, yeah, well, we'll look into that. So if you're wondering, you're a resident of the city, what can we do about this? Well, I just thought it might be helpful. Maybe somebody would be interested. I looked up, how do you recall a mayor in the state of Ohio? And the Ohio Constitution offers a very helpful reference to the revised code in the state of Ohio. And it says any elected officer of a municipal corporation, that would be you, Andy, may what's wrong with my mouth today? May be removed from office by the qualified voters of such a municipal corporation. A petition signed by qualified electors, that's voters, equal in number to at least 15% of the total votes cast at the most recent regular municipal election, can sign the petition and can have a recall election. Now, I'm not going to do it because I'm not stuck like many of you are with living in this once great city that Andrew Ginther, with a big assist and a template provided by his predecessor, Michael Coleman. The two of them have turned this once great city into just a disaster of what it once was. The city is not safe anymore. Downtown is not safe anymore. Virtually no street. It's not even safe to drive through town on the interstates anymore. You could get randomly shot. And now your data can be hacked for almost any interaction with the city.
With SRN News, Ernest Thomason. Kamala Harris outlines her economic program during a stop in North Carolina today. Reportedly, she'll propose food and grocery price control.
Excellent stewardship,
President Trump
Mayor.
would only lead to shortages,
Great job,
and ultimately more hungry people. It has been said that Harris is trying to distance herself from President Biden, but that was not the case yesterday. Harris joined Mr. Biden touting the results of Medicare drug price negotiations. Category 2 Hurricane Ernesto barreling toward Bermuda. Ernesto's maximum sustained winds have been clocked at 100 miles per hour with some higher gusts, expected to bring those high winds and heavy rains to the small island this weekend. Home builders started fewer projects last month. Housing starts fell 6.8% last month from June. The Dow up a fraction. The Nasdaq is down 23 points. More details, srnnews.com.
Hooley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy and founder of Wesley Financial Group. And I want to set the record straight. I am not an attorney. I've never wanted to be an attorney. And the truth is, I really don't even like attorneys. If I sound like an attorney or if I look like an attorney, I'll apologize. But what I've learned in my 15 years in the timeshare cancellation business is you don't need to be an attorney to get folks out of their timeshare. At Wesley, we've helped over 40,000 families cancel their timeshare without me being an attorney. And I want to share with you how we do it. Just give my office a call, and you will not talk to an attorney. And I guarantee if we take you as a client, we'll get you out of your timeshare, or you'll pay nothing.
Call now for your free timeshare exit info kit. 800-838-8822. That's 800-838-8822. 800-838-8822.
Dennis Prager here, inviting you to join me on a cruise to the Caribbean this November. I'll share fresh insights about our world today, all while soaking up a tropical Caribbean paradise with you. Call 855-565-5519 or PragerCruise.com.
I'm CPA Brad Hennepert with Premier Tax CPAs. And the true value of using a CPA is getting guidance throughout the year, not just at tax time. During the year, we can actively advise you on your financial and tax planning and other major business decisions, just like an outside CFO. Too often, when you see your accountant only at tax time, we're really only keeping score of what you did last year. We'll prepare a comprehensive tax plan to maximize your deductions and minimize the tax you pay, and present you with money-saving options you may not have ever considered. We'll update your financial position each quarter, so there are no nasty surprises at tax time. At Premier Tax CPAs, we like to have consultations with our clients throughout the year because important financial information is only useful if it's At Premier Tax CPAs, we're a firm that can work with you and your business throughout the year to help you make decisions before it's too late. Give us a call.
So we're going to have a guest on next, and I'm not sure it's a very compelling video. So I'm going to pause. I don't know if I can pause the show. I guess I can't pause the show. So I'll try to knock the mic in and out so that you can hear the guest and hear me. But just know that you won't see the guest. You'll just hear them on the show.
36,000-mile warranty. Check out our mobile app for discounts and specials. Tilton's Automotive Service, in the shadow of Anheuser-Busch in Columbus and just off Creekside in Gahanna. For more info, check out tiltonsauto.com. Take it to Tilton's.
Even before your alarm clock goes off, he's already at the ground, running, ready to tell you what's going on in the world you're waking up to. He's Hugh Hewitt, weekday mornings from 6 to 9 on your station for news, opinion, and passion. 98.9 FM, The Answer.
So I'm batching it for the next day or so while my wife and my other daughter take my middle daughter to college. And that means it gives me plenty of time to catch up with you if you express an interest in hearing more about PatriotSwitch.com products. 450 plus products, household products for your laundry, for your bathroom, cleaning products, nutritional items, essential oils, vitamins, supplements. The list goes on and on and on and on. Here's the thing. If I were trying to get you to buy something that you don't normally buy, that would be one thing. But what I'm trying to do is to get you to buy what you're normally buying, just buy it from a different vendor. One that does an outstanding job making the products out of plants so that they're non-toxic in any way, but also one that gives to causes that I'm guessing you support. You support the police, you support pro-life causes. If you do, then you want to buy your items from PatriotSwitch.com. They're not more expensive. They're just better made with a better agenda down the road. Don't spend your dollars with woke corporations that fight against you politically. Spend them with me and PatriotSwitch.com. Join me as a member. Go to PatriotSwitch.com/Bruce. It is always a pleasure to welcome to the Bruce Hooley Show Republican strategist Mahek Cook. Mahek, you see her on Fox, you see her on Newsmax. She is a frequent guest on this show and many others. So Mahek, thanks for your time today. And the Democratic National Convention will get underway Monday. It'll be the big victory lap for Joe Biden, or I'm sorry, George Washington, the guy that they're trying to make room for on Mount Rushmore. Do you think, how long will he speak, and will he be able to stay awake throughout his speech?
Gosh, I mean, I think this is going to be
very interesting to watch. The fact that Joe Biden is opening the DNC and not the man who's going to be on stage, actually the last day, telling everybody about Kamala Harris and opening it up for the world. I think this is truly historic for him to start and not actually be the one delivering her to the. You've got to stop and ask yourself why there. And I think it's because he is continuing to decline day after day, minute after minute. And we don't know who's running this country today, Bruce. It is shocking that he is still in office.
It is, Mahek. And, I looked yesterday and I saw him on stage with Kamala. I actually thought he was better on stage yesterday than she was, but, my bar for her is set really low. But here's Biden's schedule last week. He took one call on Monday. He had nothing Tuesday or Wednesday. Keep in mind, this is when, Iran was supposedly ready to attack Israel. He had nothing Tuesday or Wednesday. Thursday, he attended a ceremony and he took one call. And Friday, he was off to his beach house. I think your question about who's running the country is pertinent. And I don't know. I don't know what will happen if we actually have a crisis where the president of the United States is needed to do something besides sleep and watch Mannix reruns.
Well, Bruce, but that's the thing. We are in crisis. Every family is feeling the pain of, I call it Terronomics now.
Yeah.
Bidenomics transferred to Kamala Harris because she has continued to allow for families to be decimated by this economy. And Democrats want to sit there and talk about price gouging and it's the corporation's fault. Well, let me tell you, it started with Kamala Harris's approval of a $1.9 trillion spending bill. That means we, you and I, and every listener is paying more for gas, groceries, diapers. They have continued to push the blame on corporations rather than finding solutions. The fact that Joe Biden and Kamala Harris are not talking directly to the American people about solutions is very telling. We need solutions. We need prosperity. And some of this is really simple. Let's start drilling on state land instead of applying and asking our foreign adversaries for oil. Let's start right now. That will immediately start a decline in gas prices and so much more because that truly is the foundation.
Mahek Cook is our guest. She is a GOP strategist. She is an attorney, and you see her on Newsmax and on Fox. You can follow her on Twitter at Mahek Cook, C-O-O-K-E. Her website is Mahek Cook with an E on the end. .com. You mentioned the price controls. You mentioned oil prices. We buy oil from Venezuela, where Nicolas Maduro is a dictator. I guess Kamala's price controls, I thought she was supposed to go after the independent vote. Seems like the price controls are going after the Fidel Castro, Nicolas Maduro vote.
Well, that's right. And independents today are scratching their heads as well. They are so worried about not red or blue, but the green, what's in their bank account, what's in their 401k. Bruce, you just talked about sending your middle daughter to college. I mean, these are monumental decisions. What we're going to do in terms of our children, their future. This is about the American dream that most people find unaffordable. 60% of Americans today feel that they can't afford the American dream. Kamala Harris has yet to address on the economy, has yet to offer solutions. And she's been in office for 1,304 days. She has yet to talk to us about what her solutions are and what she's going to do right now because she is in a position of power. She's not doing it. So any independent voter out there that's wondering, what direction do I need to go? Run from the Harris-Biden administration because we're only going to be worse off.
So I'm trying to thread the needle here, Mahek, between everything they've done since January of 2021 has been an accomplishment of the Biden-Harris administration. They've been very clear. It's the Biden-Harris administration. And in fact, there have been multiple times where Joe Biden has even called her the president of the United States. But now she's not responsible for the border. She's not responsible for inflation. And I honestly don't think, I think you and I, because we know these issues so well, I think J.D. Vance and Trump know them well, I think we assume other people know them so well. I don't think people really know, and I doubt whether Kamala Harris knows what inflation really is. It's not prices. It's the rate at which prices increase year over year. and that's cumulative, and it's also compounded, because if a price goes up in year one, the second year inflation is not applied to the price of the item from year one, it's applied to the inflated price of the item. So inflation is cumulative and it compounds.
Yes. And that means for somebody who's just going and buying gasoline, where we had it at $1.86 in most of these Midwestern states, we're now paying $5 to $6 a gallon. That, over a period of time, Moody Analytics just released a report. We are paying cumulatively $11,000 more. Over 3 years, that's $33,000. Most average American families. Imagine what you could do with over $33,000 today in your bank account. You would be able to afford groceries, diapers, gas, taking your of 4 out to vacation. There is such a depression today in America and in our families because we don't know how to afford tomorrow. This is what Kamala Harris has done, and she continues to say she has solutions. If she did, then she would immediately come out with a plan. Her website doesn't even have a plan on it.
No, it has lots of gay pride flags, though. No American flags. Mahek Cook is our guest, Republican strategist. Follow her on Twitter at Mahek Cook, MEHEKCOOKE. Her website is mahekcook with an E on the end.com. Okay, let's go Senate race, state of Ohio. The Republican strategists I talked to, in addition to you, keep telling me Bernie Moreno is going to win. I think if Donald Trump were better at answering questions in a shorter manner, make a point, maybe restate it, summarize it, get done. Yesterday, he answered a question from Aisha Hasni. It took him like 8 minutes to answer it, and he really didn't even address what she asked. I think President Trump needs to get a little bit more focused. Bernie Moreno is focused. How do you feel about Bernie's race?
Look, I think if we have an opportunity to beat Sherrod Brown, this is the year. Because Sherrod Brown, 50-year politician, career politician, has gotten away with running the state of Ohio into the ground. Bernie Moreno has come out with strong policies, and it's very simple. To every single voter, seal the border. Talk about economy. It's not price gouging. Let's talk about drilling. I mean, he truly cares about Ohio families, and I think part of that is because of his background. He is an employer in the state of Ohio. He knows how to balance not only his checkbook, but he knows how to balance a business. When you have career politicians that continue to go to D.C. and rubber stamp policies, they have a negative impact on every family. I think this is going to be a tough race. We cannot take it for granted. We need to make sure that people truly understand what Sherrod Brown's record is. He has 4 open borders. He has 4 drillings on foreign land, but not in state lands like Ohio, which has the biggest shale play, which would decrease our oil prices. And most importantly, he rubber stamped every single thing that Joe Biden, Kamala Harris has done. And he continues not to call out Biden. The fact that he has run our country into the ground, the fact that he shouldn't be the commander in chief. And it's going to be under Sherrod Brown's watch as we continue to destroy Ohio because we have so many illegal immigrants, and Sherrod has yet to call them out and to close down that border.
Mahek, it's always great to have you on the show. I appreciate your time today. Thanks so much, and continue the good fight. We'll talk to you again soon. Thank you. Again, Sherrod Brown not even going to the DNC.
Weather continuing this afternoon with a couple of showers and thunderstorms which can bring downpours and localized damaging wind gusts. High for the rest of the day, 82. Then partly cloudy and humid tonight with a thunderstorm in spots and a low of 70. Tomorrow will be mostly cloudy and humid. A couple of showers and heavy thunderstorms. Breezy in the afternoon with a high of 87. Thunder showers Sunday. I'm Holly Holbert on 98.9 FM, The Answer.
Bad decisions limit future options. Make enough bad decisions and you will destroy your life. Listen to The Flop Line with your host Rick Hughes every Sunday morning at 8 here on 98.9 FM The Answer. The Flop Line describes a main line of resistance in your soul built on God's Word. Join us every Sunday for 30 minutes of inspiration, motivation, education, all without manipulation. That's The Flatline with Rick Hughes, Sunday mornings at 8, right here on 98.9 FM, The Answer.
Donald Trump's indictment proves that saving America is not going to be easy. There are entrenched powers that are fighting this with everything they've got. They want to keep control over the country, the narrative, and the nation's money supply. Hi, I'm Lance Wallnau. I'm a news analyst, a Christian author, and evangelical leader. I speak to millions of people every week, people just like you. You see, what the elites are doing is using inflation and government handouts and now central bank digital currencies to determine how they're going to control America. And that's why I recommend all Christians start a gold IRA from the Birch Gold Group. Because physical precious metals are one of the few ways you can maintain control over your own savings. To get a free info kit on gold IRAs, text the word faith to 989898. Birch Gold Group is the only gold company I trust. Get their free info kit and you'll see why a gold IRA can help you. There are no strings attached. Text the word faith to 989898 and you're going to be blessed by taking action right now.
When will the danger become crystal clear? When you read another statistic? When it happens to your neighbor? When your family is shattered? When will you finally take action? Don't let another family's life fall to pieces due to the dangers of unsafe railroad crossings. Report bad railroad crossings at angelsontrack.org. That's angelsontrack.org. Because bad crossings kill good drivers. Sponsored by Angels on Track, aired by OAB and the station.
From the Kendrick brothers, the creators of War Room.
It's hard for a woman to call out the man and her son. I just need some prayer support. We pray that the Lord will open Isaiah's eyes so that he could see himself the way that the Lord sees him.
What kind of man do you want to be? Isaiah, welcome to The Forge. The Forge, in theaters August 23rd. Rated PG, parental guidance suggested. Tickets and showtimes at theforgemovie.com.
Hold off on purchasing your first order from Balance of Nature because I've got some information you need to hear. If you go to balanceofnature.com to buy their popular fruit and veggies supplements, a discount offer will pop up. It may say 20 or 25% off your first order. Don't click that because if you use my code, you'll get 35% off your first order, plus free shipping. Now, my special promo code is Mike G. Use my code and save big. Here's another bonus. Balance of Nature has a risk-free money-back guarantee, so go ahead and find out for yourself what so many of us already know. There's no other product out there like Balance of Nature when it comes to fruit and veggie supplements. Whether you order online or call them direct, use the promo code Mike G, and you'll get this special offer of 35% off and free shipping. Just call 800-246-8751, 800-246-8751. Use the discount code Mike G, or order online, balanceofnature.com. Use the discount code Mike G to get 35% off.
Well, you know that inflation has made it much harder for you to provide food for your family and to buy the gas that you need to go somewhere, anywhere, places you need to go. Gas was $2.40 a gallon nationwide when Donald Trump left office. It's $3.60 plus now. That's why you should enter the $13,000 gas and groceries giveaway sweepstakes sponsored by 9890answer.com. This includes a grand prize of gas and groceries for a year, and 4 other winners will receive between $500 and $1,000 in gas and groceries. You can enter once each day between now and September the 30th. Complete optional activities to earn bonus entries to increase your opportunity to win. Where do you go? You go to 9890answer.com. The $13,000 gas and groceries giveaway sweepstakes with a top prize of $10,000 in gas and groceries. I don't have to fill up your tank like twice and your grocery cart like 3 times. I think 10,000 in this Biden economy. I exaggerate, but I'm not kidding. Enter today, 9890answer.com. So we'll get a window into the very special brand of Kamala, it's hard to say, Kamala-unism today, with her unveiling of a wonderful, wonderful program on price controls. It works so well in Venezuela, Russia, Cuba. It works every time. It works to depress production and increase bread lines and empty store shelves. That's what it works for. But Kamala's got the vibe, and Kamala's got the joy, and Kamala's got the momentum in the race. And I have asked the question several times this week. I've asked it on social media. I've asked it here. Is America stupid enough to elect Kamala Harris president? A good place to go to get that answer would be to one of her rallies. And here is a cross-section, a man on the street interview, if you will, of people at a recent Kamala Harris rally, overwhelmed with vibe and joy, but sadly not intelligence.
Today, we're trying to find out from the attendees what Kamala Harris's greatest accomplishment has been as VP.
I mean, honestly, I'm not too into politics. I'm just here for the vibe. Becoming the first female vice president. So becoming the VP is the best accomplishment. Yeah, absolutely.
Being a good person.
Oh,
Being a good person.
Great person.
Yeah.
Rips babies apart. Great person.
I mean, she's. I don't know. She seems really good for women.
What is Kamala's top accomplishment, you think?
I can't say that right now. Give me a second.
Her top contributions to policy or policy as VP.
I wasn't in on the policy making decisions with President Biden, so I don't know.
Her favorite policies. Oh my gosh. See, I wish they would tell us more about that because I honestly don't know.
Ladies and gentlemen, presenting the Yale University graduating class of 2023. All of them at a Kamala Harris rally. Now, in our previous segment with Mahek Cook, I was talking about inflation, and I cannot take credit for saying today that inflation is cumulative and it is compounded. What do I mean by it's cumulative? Very easy. When Joe Biden took office 2021, let's just say for the sake of argument that inflation, well, I can add it up for you. Exactly. 2021, the annual inflation rate was 7%. So 7%, prices went up 7% from January of 2020 to from the end of 2020 to the end of 2021. Prices went up 7%. The next year they went up 6.5%. Does that mean prices were coming down? No, it means they went up 6.5% from where they climbed when they were up 7%. 2023 inflation went down annually to 3.4%. When you add up 7, 6.5, 3.4, we're at 13, 16.4, and we're at about 3 or 4 this year. The cumulative will be somewhere around there. So we're about 20% cumulative inflation since Joe Biden took office. That's easy, right? You can add the numbers. What does it mean when I say inflation is compounded? I got to give my brother credit for this. He's very smart with money, very smart, period. And he reminded me yesterday that it's not only cumulative, it is compounded. And I had to think for a minute, and I'm like, he's right. And I got to point this out to my audience because I want you to be smart. So let's start with something that we can all envision, right? You need a new car. You need a car. Car costs $30,000. Let's say Joe Biden takes office. The car costs $30,000. Now, we're going to presume that we have 5% inflation in the first year of Joe Biden. It just makes the math easier. So you got your phone there. If you're sitting there, if you're not driving or whatever, pull your phone out, pull the calculator up, do the math with me, check me, make sure I'm right. Car cost $30,000 to buy in January of 2021. And then there's 5% inflation throughout the year. What does that car cost in the next January, 2022 January? 5%, 0.05 times $30,000. That car now costs you $31,500. Okay? So that's 5% inflation. Now you have 5% inflation again in 2022. Does that add another $1,500 to the cost of the car? No. It adds 0.05 times the cost of the car in 2022, which is $31,500. So that adds, instead of $1,500, it adds $1,575 to the cost of the car. So now that car that cost $30,000 2 years ago costs $33,075. Then you have another year 3 of the Biden inflation, 5%, we'll just say for sake of argument. What does that add? You multiply 0.05 times not 30,000, not times 31,500, but times 33,075. So now in the first year, 5% inflation added $1,500 to the cost of the car. In the second year, it added $1,575 to the cost of the car. In the third year, it added $1,654 to the cost of the car. The $30,000 car is now $34,729 because inflation is not just cumulative, it is compounded. That's what I mean. Is there any way in the world that Kamala Harris understands that? No. She's never built a business. She's never signed a paycheck. Joe Biden's never built a business. He's never signed a paycheck. Sherrod Brown has never built a business. He's never signed a paycheck. Democrats have all the answers to how to fix business problems, but they've never built a business, and that's why their solutions don't work. You know what the margins are in the grocery industry? She wants to introduce price controls to the grocery industry. If you are, let's say you own an apple orchard, okay? And you're selling apples and you're making apples and, you know, making a nice living selling apples. And all of a sudden, Kamala and her idiots in office with her say, you know, he's making too much money selling apples. Let's reduce the price of apples and tell him he can't charge $10 a bushel for apples. He can only charge $8 a bushel for apples. And all of a sudden, you were making $2 a bushel for apples. Are you going to continue to grow apples and make nothing? No, you're going to cut the apple trees down and sell them for firewood. You're going to sell them for something you can make money on. This is how stupid price controls are. This is why they work the same way around the world, which is to empty store shelves, raise prices because there are fewer apples being produced, law of supply and demand. Oh, wait, no, we got the price controls. It's just, it does not work. People will not grow them. You can't make people do things. Well, maybe you can if Kamala-unism kicks in all throughout the world. Even the Washington Post, the woke Washington Post, opinion piece today, headline, when your opponent calls you a communist, maybe don't propose price controls. Yeah, even the Washington Post writes this. It is hard to exaggerate how bad this policy is. It is, in all but name, a sweeping set of government-enforced price controls across every industry. Not only food, supply and demand would no longer determine prices or profit levels. Far off Washington bureaucrats would. The Federal Trade Commission would be able to say, a Kroger in Ohio, here's the acceptable price it can charge for milk. At best, it would lead to shortages, black markets, and hoarding, among other distortions seen in previous times in other countries where they tried to limit price growth by fiat.
It has engorged itself on borrowed money. Now we are over $30 trillion in debt. If this bubble finally implodes, many Americans will be left penniless and heartbroken. For example, what happens if state and federal pension funds go broke? Or 401ks and IRAs get cut in half due to hyperinflation? Hi, I'm Lance Wallnow, news analyst, best-selling author, and evangelical leader to millions of people just like you. People who understand something big is coming. Now's the time to prepare with a physical gold IRA from Birch Gold Group. Precious metals are among the most proven hedges you can make. And they're even better inside a tax advantage account. To get a free info kit on gold IRAs, text the word FAITH, F-A-I-T-H, to 989898. Birch Gold Group is the only gold company I trust. Get their free info kit and see why a gold IRA can help you. There are no strings attached, so just text FAITH to the number 989898 right now, and I pray you are blessed with continued prosperity.
Find us at 9890theanswer.com. Download our apps. Stream us 24/7. WTOH and WTOH HD1, Upper Arlington, Columbus.
Breaking news this hour from townhall.com. I'm John Scott. National Weather Service lead forecaster Bob Orvik says Ernesto is expected to pummel Bermuda.
It's already raining across Bermuda well ahead of the storm, and the winds are starting to pick up. But the worst is going to be Friday night into early Saturday when the hurricane is pretty much right over the island.
In Bermuda, officials will suspend public transportation and close the airport by Friday night. Orvik says Ernesto has strengthened now into a Category 2 storm.
Ernesto has continued to strengthen a little bit as it's moved northward through the western Atlantic. Wind speeds are up to 100 miles per hour. It's moving pretty steadily northeastward at about 13 miles per hour. The biggest impact looks like it's going to be for Bermuda.
Ernesto is the fifth named storm and the third hurricane of this year's Atlantic hurricane season. Also at townhall.com, President Biden says drug prices on Medicare's most popular drugs will be coming down. White House correspondent Greg Cluxton has that report.
After months of negotiations between the administration and pharmaceutical companies, the list prices will be reduced starting in 2026. The president said it will mean big savings for millions of people on Medicare.
$1.5 billion less out of pocket for patients to the drug companies.
And he said it will save the government billions more. Popular blood thinners Xarelto and Eliquis and diabetes drugs Jardiance and Januvia are among the 10 drugs that will cost less. Greg Clugston, Washington.
In Doha, the two-day Gaza war ceasefire talks have wrapped up and will reconvene in Cairo next week, attempting to seal a deal. The United States, Egypt, and Qatar said talks were constructive and conducted in a positive atmosphere. On Wall Street, stocks have been up and down, are now higher. The Dow up 41, the NASDAQ Composite adding 14. More at townhall.com.
Cloudy, humid weather continuing this afternoon with a couple of showers and thunderstorms, which can bring downpours and localized damaging wind gusts. High for the rest of the day, 82. Then partly cloudy and humid tonight with a thunderstorm in spots and a low of 70. Tomorrow will be mostly cloudy and humid. A couple of showers and heavy thunderstorms. Breezy in the afternoon with a high of 87. Thunder showers Sunday. I'm Holly Holbert on 98.9 FM, The Answer.
You'll sleep better knowing you got a great deal on a great mattress because you've got it from Mac Mattress Outlet and the Discount Shopping Club. Right now, get a $500 certificate from Mac Mattress Outlet for any mattress purchase for only $250. These certificates go fast, and when they're gone, they're gone. For details, log on to the Discount Shopping Club at 989theanswer.com.
With SRN Sports, I'm Jeremy House. Major League Baseball and the American League, a late fly ball is the difference as the Minnesota Twins top the Texas Rangers.
Carlos Santana sacrificed fly in the ninth while Kirby 8 snapped the 2-all tie and lifted the Minnesota Twins to a 3-2 victory over the Texas Rangers. Twins who currently hold the American League's second wildcard spot moved to within 4 games of Cleveland in the AL Central. Twins manager Rocco Baldelli says his team found a way to win.
Winning is what we're here for, but sometimes you have to not, you have to do a lot and work hard to not really lose the game, and you need to make plays, and you need to make a lot of good pitches, and our guys did a pretty good job of that.
Jorge Alcala got the win and relieved the starter Bailey Ober, who went the first 6 innings, allowed 2 runs. Johan Duran got the save, his 17th of the season. Bob Stevens, Arlington, Texas.
Other American League winners included Detroit and Baltimore. One interleague game saw Oakland edging the New York Mets 7-6. This is SRN Sports. Staying with baseball in the National League, winners were Milwaukee, San Francisco.
That'll do it for this first hour. I'm not allowed to stream the second hour on my own social channels, but you can catch it on the Bruce Hooley Show Facebook page and the 989 The Answer Facebook page. Great audience today. Thank you guys so much. Appreciate you watching, and I'll see you again on Monday.